Are you freaking serious? Did I just sit through the entire series of Hamatora, deal with its bullcrap of cucumbers and horrible plot design and stuff, to actually see this ending? So all my fears that I had about Art, him being alive and everything, came to realization. Art's alive. Okay. So what did this episode do, really? So we had the epic ending scene from last episode with Hajime transforming. We get to see how she's like healing herself. She has glowing red eyes, and she says, I'm hungry, over and over again, but she is healing, and we get to see her epic power. Well, the episode starts off with that, but it really doesn't lead to nowhere. We just see Hajime showing her awesome power, and then goes unconscious. Then we see her in the diner just eating again. So really, Hajime was of little importance of this episode. She really was just there to waste time, but I'll get into that in just a moment. So half this episode is pretty much a build-up episode between Moral and Nice about to fight. It was really cool. I loved the way Moral had that, like, I guess, existence type power where he's teleporting around with his existence. It was interesting. I enjoyed it. I did love the animation in certain scenes in this episode, even though there was a lot of LSD type acid trip scenes. I was like making my eyes bleed, but it was a really good episode to that extent. They really made Moral out to be a psycho in this episode. If I thought Moral was a good villain in the middle of the series, how I all said how I thought about him, I really don't like his character now. Moral just seems to be crazy, and his motives just don't seem that interesting, okay? So he pretty much is just a worshiper of Nice. We've already gotten this about a couple episodes now. He wants to be on equal standing with Nice and wants Nice to leave his solitude of being the strongest. So, I guess Moral gets the strongest power, tries to beat up Nice. Now, really, this is interesting, yes, but his entire goal of trying to make everybody go deaf to where they lose their hearing, and then they'll realize how weak they are just for he can give them a minimum power, just sounds very stupid. His entire logic to the what type of goal he has just does not sound good at all. It's not interesting. But I'll tell you this. One thing I said that I've been so pissed about is if Art was brought back. Well, he was brought back, okay? So they bring back Art. Now, his death was beautiful. You all know how I felt about his death. It was a really good portrayal of his death. And I loved the line when Moral said that, oh, he completely forgot about killing the Inspector Art. And I got pissed at that. I really did get pissed. I was like, hell yes, finally! So Art really is dead. Moral did kill him. So I was like, hell yes, it's gonna get fucking badass. And the next thing, all of a sudden, we see freaking Art talking to Moral. Moral's puking up blood because he's using 2 minimum powers, and then Art just shoots him. So we pretty much saw that coming. That was obvious. And then we get to see the very last scene, like the last minute, freaking Art puts a gun on the back of Knox's head and says, oh, I'm sorry it took so long, and then shoots. The screen goes black and shoots. What the fuck? Really? Are you freaking kidding me? This is not even an ending. This ain't even a conclusion to the overall plot. It says to be continued after the credits, so I'm guessing there's a season 2. Am I willing to watch a season 2 of Hamatora? Am I willing to sit down and probably watch another season of this generic cliche crap that was interesting at the start and had a lot of potential turn into something like this? No. I don't know. I was interested about the entire cliffhanger, yes, but that's what cliffhangers are for. Cliffhangers are supposed to draw you into want to see the next part. But that type of cliffhanger, it pisses me off they would end the season at that type of cliffhanger. That's something you would do in a live-action series or a major movie film, not in a fucking anime. That is no-go right there. That is bad. So overall, my impressions of Hamatora. This is going to sound very sour and mean for anyone that really loved Hamatora, so sit back. If you don't like rants, and I guess just, you know, I'm sorry. So, Hamatora had a lot of potential. It was a really interesting setting, and I love these set of characters when they were first introduced. A lot of the interesting side characters never really got a lot of screen time or any character development. Even Nas, our main character, didn't get much character development. I mean, yes, we found out that he was the strongest, he was Solitude. We know that all the minimum holders went to this academy together, but we didn't know much information about them. There was not enough backstory to make us truly connected, even when Nice. The only characters I really cared for in the end of the series was Art, really. He's the only character that I actually felt some form of attachment to, because the way he was built up and the way he was killed off just made you feel very sad. And so I felt like Art was the best character in this entire series, but his character alone cannot bring up an entire series to make it badass, especially when they decide to ruin his character and bring him back. Even though he's an enemy and he shot Nice, it doesn't explain exactly why he would do that. I mean, it was obvious that, you know, Art would eventually try to kill Nice because, I mean, it would just make more sense like that. I don't know. That's just plot design wise. But Overall, the villain was very uninteresting. At first, he was cool, but then he became uninteresting and psychopath and just, you know, had uninteresting motives. And so, we have a bunch of characters that had a lot of potential, didn't get used properly, and then we had a lot of filler sections in between that did not make the plot actually flow well. We had some good character backstories to certain characters like Honey and 3, but they never got really implied more into. We only saw some episodes that really should have focused on character development instead of like Cucumber sword fighting, like I talked about that, or the episodic episodes of God taking down minimum holders that are getting power some more. So, honestly, I didn't like Hamatora. I really didn't. This is going to sound harsh, but overall, I'll give this series a 4 out of 10. It was bad. It really was. It's not the worst garbage I've seen, but it was bad in my opinion. It really was. The animation was good in parts, but it did have some derpy animation in between, especially, like I said, the LSD that really makes your eyes bleed. The music overall, I loved the music. The ending song and the opening song really had badass music, especially the way they betrayed that cliffhanger at the end of this episode, when you get to see how just Art shooting nice in the back of the head, and all of a sudden the ending credits start playing. I was looking at my screen like this, like, are you fucking serious? That's exactly what I looked like. And when I skipped to the ending of the credits and there was nothing that said to be continued, I was like, okay. So, really, all in all, this is going to be my final review of Hamatora. Hopefully you all enjoyed this series of me reviewing. I'm sorry if your opinions differ from mine. Remember, this is all in my opinion. I think you all deserve my honesty. So everybody, tell me, do you think I should review a Season 2 of Hamatora? Do you think I should give this series another chance? I mean, I really don't see why I would, because I really felt it very lacking and uninteresting, and overall, there was not much development. So tell me your thoughts, everybody, and tell me your honest reviews in the comments below. Like, tell me what you truly thought about Hamatora, and if you really love this series, you know, be honest about it. I'm not going to sit here and be mean to you. If you really thought Hamatora was great, you thought all the characters were nice, and you've also thought Art was the best guy ever to still be alive, which I'm happy Art's alive, but at the same time, like you all know, you know my opinions by now. Look at my previous reviews. So anyways, everybody, be safe. I love you so much. Chibi out.